Business Bites with Invest Northern Ireland. Go further and grow stronger with Invest NI. Visit investni.com/export to reach your exporting potential. Invest NI. Go further and grow stronger.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Business Bites. My name is David Tighe, the Managing Director of Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland, the home of Cool FM, downtown and downtown country. And each week we delve into the world of business and we pull out some great stories from our part of the world. This week, my guest is Eimear Callaghan, and she's the Head of Programs at Tourism NI. Eimear, welcome to the show.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's great to have you here. I really want to find out all about what you're doing at Tourism NI. So let's cut straight into the story. So you're head of programs at Tourism NI, and you are on a recruitment drive. So tell us a little bit about how you came around to getting onto this recruitment drive for Tourism NI.
Absolutely. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks so much for having us on this morning. I suppose that this goes back to when tourism and hospitality was reopening from COVID. And one of the main challenges that we heard from our tourism businesses was one of the main challenges for reopening was the lack of people. That, many people had left the tourism and hospitality area, and businesses were saying just, it's very challenging for us to reopen as we don't have people. So businesses were either having to reduce their number of operating hours or reduce their service provision. So last March, we looked into how we could support businesses in this particular area. And one of the first things we did was really in-depth research to try and understand the barriers why people wouldn't go into tourism and hospitality, or why they wouldn't consider a career in this sector. So we interviewed current employers, current employees in the sector, those that had left. We interviewed students, we interviewed the general public. So we really had a great base to understand what the challenges were. And I suppose the results were quite stark. Out of the top 5 factors that the general public wanted in a career, very few were perceived to be present in careers in tourism and hospitality. So we understood that we had a medium to long term challenge ahead of us in being able to recruit and retain great people in the industry. And tourism and hospitality is based on people. Without people, the sector doesn't exist. You need those great people here, chefs, front of house, welcoming you in a visitor experience, tour guides, all those people that bring Northern Ireland as a tourism destination to life. So it's certainly a very different area for tourism Northern Ireland to be into, but it's certainly of critical importance to our industry.
What were the perceived challenges and how are you getting over that?
Yeah, well, basically, whenever we interviewed people, there was a lot of negative issues came out, across both tourism and hospitality. The negatives were, having to work at weekends, having to work in the evenings, no clear career progression opportunities or training opportunities were perceived to be there. And certainly in hospitality, there was the perception of low wages. However, we also interviewed people to establish, well, what did they love about the industry? Why did they like working in the industry? And it was very clear that across both tourism and hospitality, they were people. The people who work in tourism and hospitality love working with people. They get a real buzz out of, being there as part of a customer's special occasion, helping people really enjoy their visit to Northern Ireland. And in particular, they love the buzz of the people they worked with, their colleagues, especially in hospitality, that colleagues became like family. There was a great team, a team ethos. So there was loads of positives as well. So what we took from that research was we essentially had a twofold approach. We needed to reframe careers in tourism and hospitality, be very much dialing up the positives, like what people really love about it, that people element, interaction element. Then secondly, we have to work with the employers to make that employee experience really much more pleasant. We have some fantastic employers out there, but we have ones that are not so good as well. So we really need to raise the bar. Otherwise, it becomes a vicious circle. People will go into the industry, leave the industry because they haven't had a good experience. And industry bodies like Hospitality Ulster, HATS Network, the Institute of Hospitality, and our local colleges are all playing a very active role in helping businesses become better employers and offer those career progression opportunities.
Yeah.
So
So how have the businesses kind of helped, and how have they stepped up to try and help you to help them?
yeah, well, so essentially we went out with the research and we told them very starkly, this is what people think of the industry. This is what we need to do. Here are what people want. So it was very clear from tourism, from the research for tourism and hospitality, people wanted to understand that there was clear career progression opportunities. So it wasn't a stopgap. It wasn't something that you went into until you got something else. So it was then dialing up that knowledge with our employers, and we gave them very clear target markets that we had identified. So we identified that there's three clear groups that we can target to come into the sector. So the first one was career switchers, so people who are in a perhaps in another particular role, but have always had a passion for tour guiding or hiking in the morns or being a chef or owning their own cafe, to try and entice those people back into the industry. The second was entry level, so ensuring that we were attracting students from second and third level education. And with that, we're working with Springboard, who are a great charity who do great work promoting careers in tourism and hospitality to school leavers. And for that market, we have to be really clear and show you can really make it in this industry. Once you come in here, you've got clear progression opportunities. You become a supervisor, you can go on to be a manager, you can do on-the-job training, higher level apprenticeships, etc. And the third target market, quite interestingly, was part-time. So, not everybody wants to work full-time. Many people want to work part-time hours to support caring responsibilities. And a key market that we looked at was retired people. So people who'd maybe retired, but were missing the buzz of their colleagues or the crack in the office. And tourism and hospitality is a sector that can give them that flexibility. So they're not compromising on their retired lifestyle. They can still enjoy the good life, but they're still being able to work, maybe 8 to 12 hours a week and get that buzz. And we're seeing lots of, hotels and front of house, looking at retired people for concierges, welcome visitor attractions. Tour guides in particular are great for retired people, particularly retired teachers who are used to moving big groups of people along in a general direction. So that was very interesting. And also the research showed that people over 55 in particular were most warm to
Right.
careers in tourism.
That's great. That's great. So tell us about the campaign. Tell us about the campaign you're on at the minute. Where can we find all these wonderful careers?
Yeah, so the campaign is up and running at the moment across radio, obviously, digital channels, and we have a great PR campaign out there. And we developed a new microsite called makeyourcareer.co.uk, and that's where people can go. They can look at case studies. They can see, what careers are like in particular industry. They can also then go on to particular job sites like NI Jobs, NI Job Finder, Indeed, etc., to find out vacancies in the particular sector. And we've had a great response to date. The campaign has been live now for about 3 weeks, and we've had over 18,000 visitors to that particular site, with a conversion rate of nearly 50% of those going on to job sites to find out careers in tourism and hospitality. So what that says to me is there's definitely an appetite for people to find out more about careers in tourism and hospitality. And we're delighted to be bringing this opportunity and helping support our businesses, because essentially this is a business challenge that we need to help our tourism businesses with for long-term growth and sustainability.
Yep. And just finally, we're approaching the summer months now. And how is the tourist outlook looking for our part of the world this year? Is it looking good?
Really, really positive. I suppose in 2019, we surpassed 1 billion of tourism economic impact for Northern Ireland, our best year. And then obviously COVID hit. So last year we saw a really strong recovery, in particular from the Republic of Ireland market. And there was amazing feedback from visitors who had been for the very first time. 2023 sees increasing return of our overseas markets. And just last week we had Meet the Bauer, where we had 180 international tour operators coming to meet our tourism businesses, and the feedback from that was fantastic. They were so pleased with the quality of the accommodation, the quality of the appointments, and the great inspirational experiences that we have here and the visitor attractions. Titanic Belfast has just relaunched its new galleries as well. So we're looking forward to a really strong season for our tourism businesses.
Well, Eimear, you're a great advocate for Tourism NI. I know why you're there now. Thank you for telling us all about...
I love tourism.
We can tell. But thank you for telling us so much about what you're doing. We wish you and all the team at Tourism NI all the best with your big recruitment drive to get more people into the industry. Thank you for being our guest.
Thanks so much, David. See you soon.
Business Bites with Invest Northern Ireland. Go further and grow stronger with Invest NI. Visit investni.com/export to reach your exporting potential. Invest NI. Go further and grow stronger.